everyone, my name is Nurhanani binti Samsul and this is my friend
Nur Alfiatur Rahmah binti Tirmizi.
So today we are going to talk about the principle of the sustainable development. So let's look into the video about the historical background of the sustainable development.
Okay, now let's look into more details about the definition, element, and principles of sustainable development.
The first element is future generation. There are treaties such as 1946 International Whaling Convention, the 1968 African Nature Convention, and the 1972 World Heritage Convention, at where all these treaties have sought to preserve particular natural resources and other environmental assets for the present and the future generations. This includes wild flora and fauna, natural resources, heritage, water resources, and climate change. Second element is sustainable of natural resources. It reflects in treaties adopting a sustainable approach is a focus on the adoption of standards governing the rate of use or exploitation of specific natural resources rather than on their preservation for the future generations. The significance of this term is that each recognized limit placed by international law on the rate of use or manner of exploitation of natural resources, including those that share or are in the areas beyond the national jurisdiction. Third element is equitable use of natural resources. Equity and equitable principle are terms frequently rely upon in the international environmental text. It is all about how to allocate future responsibilities for environmental protection between states at different levels of economic development, which have contributed in the different degree of to the particular problems or economic development. For example, the 2015 Paris Agreement refers to the need for the implementation for the agreement to reflect equity, and the 1992 Biodiversity Convention for the equitable sharing of the benefit arising out of the use of the genetic resources. Okay, last but not least, the fourth element is the integration of the environment and the development. This element of the sustainable development is the commitment to the integrate the environmental considerations into the economic and the other development, and also to take into account the needs of economic and other social development in crafting, applying, and interpreting environmental obligation. This provides the party to the right to and should promote sustainable development, which reflect a compromise text between those states which sought and express recognition of a right.
UN Stockholm Declaration was the first UN conference that focused on international environmental issues, was attended by delegation from 114 governments. The roots of the Stockholm Declaration lie in a 1968 proposal from Sweden that the UN hold an international conference to examine environmental problems and identify those that required international cooperation. The final declaration for the Stockholm Conference was an environmental manifesto that was a forceful statement of the finite nature of Earth's resources and the necessity for humanity to safeguard them. Principle 9 recognizes about the differentiated positions of developed and developing countries in regard to the environment. It stated that many environmental problems were by the products of underdevelopment and poverty and provided for the transfer of technology and funds to the developing countries in an effort to stimulate economic development. Pulp Mill's case. This case was highlighted the importance of the need to ensure environmental protection of shared natural resources while allowing for sustainable economic development. On April 20, 2010, the International Court of Justice (ICJ) announced its judgment in a high-stakes environmental dispute between Argentina and Uruguay concerning Uruguay's authorization for pulp mills on the banks of the Uruguay River, which forms the international boundary between two countries. Over strenuous objection from Argentina, Uruguay authorized construction of one of the largest pulp mills in the world in 2005, which has been converting wood chips into paper pulp on the banks of the river since November 2007. Case study is Gabčíkovo about the Nagy Maros project between the Hungary and Slovakia. So, in the 1997 case concerning the Gabčíkovo Nagy Maros project between the Hungary and Slovakia, has the International Court of Justice with ICJ deal with the sustainable development. The court
expressly invoke the concept of the sustainable development as an expression of the need to reconcile economic development which protection of the environment. In this view, as consequences of this concept, the parties should together to look at the effect on the operation of the Gapsikovo power plant. However, the question whether this concept is legal or non-legal quality has been left undecided by the ICJ majority judgment.
The Iron Rhine arbitration is a dispute between Kingdom of Belgium and the Kingdom of the Netherlands concerning the reactivation of the Iron Rhine Railway, linking the port of Antwerp, Belgium, to the Rhine basin in Germany across certain parts of Dutch territory. The arbitral tribunal was called upon to interpret 19th century treaties, which granted certain rights to Belgium on the territory of the Netherlands and to consider the entitlement of the Netherlands and to insist on conditions specified under Dutch law, particularly with respect to environmental protection for the activation of the railway.
About the shrimp or turtle case, the shrimp turtle dispute between the United States on one hand and Malaysia, India, Pakistan and Thailand on the other hand debates back to 1 May 1996. Okay, the US imposed a trade embargo on the import of the shrimp and the shrimp products from the countries that did not certify that the shrimps were caught by using the turtle excluder devices TED in the trolling vessels, and where the use of the TED was not comparable in effectiveness to those required in the US programs. According to US, the measure was taken and aimed to protect the endangered species of the sea turtles. So the World Trade Organization appellate body note that the preamble to the WTO agreement explicitly acknowledge the objective of the sustainable development and characterized as a concept that has been generally accepted as the integrating economic and social development and also the environment protection. The concept in the appellate body's conclusion that sea turtles and and exhaustible natural resources. So in the exhaustible natural resources, in bracket Article XX for the GAT, and had sufficient nexus with the United States to justify the latest states conservation measures. So the appellate body also invoke sustainable development in assessing whether the US measures has been applied in the discriminatory fashion. So, in conclusion, the principle of sustainable development is important. Nothing is impossible.
Any solution can be made in protecting the environment and have sustainable development without harming the environment.
Environmental issues should be handled by all concerned citizens to achieve the long growth with the sustainable development.
That's all from us. Thank
Thank you.